Alright, response video, I think, to a conference report video. Yeah, so he was using juggling as a metaphor. You know, the number of items you're juggling, how difficult it is to juggle many items, blah, blah, blah. And yes, it is. And using this metaphor to impugn those of the simpler mindset who, settle for juggling a lesser amount of things proficiently. And his point is that somehow the truth is very, very complicated, and it's like juggling many, many things, many millions and billions, perhaps. And we'll never be able to conquer it. We'll never be able to understand life or the universe because it's all too complex, too many moving parts. Not that they're moving parts, too many nooks and crannies of reality. Too many hidden or unresolvables or some sort of crap like that. And in the end, sort of belittling people who are of a less complex, people who accept a less complex narrative. He was also impugning the idea of confidence and the idea that you gain confidence by perhaps keeping it simple, stupid. And so, yeah, all this metaphor crap, what does it add up to? It doesn't add up to anything. The metaphors aren't really applicable. How would you know how deep the rabbit hole goes? Once you make a rabbit hole, once you make a fantasy island, yeah, you can make it as complex as you want. I would metaphor it as there's people who can take the truth and people who can't. People who, if you tell them the truth is your body runs on calories, it needs certain amino acids, and you give them a plate full of basic food that satisfies those bodily needs, and they say thank you very much. And the asshole who needs some French woman in a bikini, to cook their pancake upside down and pour golden, Bavarian, monkey duty syrup on it. All high maintenance. And Fred's basically a high maintenance. He's a little high maintenance philosopher. He needs a story that has intrigue in it. People have to be having affairs and fucking each other, doing some other kind of nonsense. He can't settle for, spot, see spot run, run spot run. If reality is that, that's not a good enough story. It needs hookers. It needs some shit going on. And so he's just like the typical average dolt, who sits there and, we stopped going to the moon because we figured out, it's just kind of dirty and gray and that's all there is. But there was plenty of people who still was like, no, you got to dig deeper. There's moon gold. There's moonerite. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And he's just one of those silly people who needs a better story, who needs the spiritualism. I can read people's minds because I coincidentally one time predicted that somebody would slip on a banana peel. And so therefore I'm clairvoyant and descendant from Pharaoh, and blah, blah, blah. And so that's all Fred's doing. He's just putting on his Napoleon suit and pretending he's important and the world's important and everything that's going on is important because they all have an importance. and what he doesn't want to accept is, no, you're all just a bunch of peacocks. And yes, you have some different colored little feathers and you have little this and little that, but you're just peacocks. All right, you're just flashing your little feathered philosophy bullshit, and it's just bullshit. If you're living for your stoic crap or your, I'm the best, in curling, what do they call those little sweeper people? I bet they say, wow, I'm the best sweeper man in the universe. And they're all fucking proud of themselves. And you're like, yeah, well, relative to what? Is it really something to be proud of? It's like being the most spectacularly insane human on Earth for 2013. Will it be the guy who, kidnapped women and kept them in his basement, or would it be the guy that, ate 4 pounds of dog shit in one sitting? Which one will win? But whatever. Life isn't that complicated. He just doesn't want to hear about that. And so he wants to belittle anybody who sits there and points out that we have a big giant pile of facts that he chooses to ignore because he wants to deal in the cluttery little pile of nonsense books over here written by, Dr. Gobbledygook and Professor Mumbo Jumbo. Let's make up some story. Look, there's a drag mark in the woods. Let's make up an intriguing story. Yeah. Yeah, it'll all be just bullshit. Because that's what they need. They need a narrative that makes them feel important and gives them an excuse to be assholes. Because the facts don't give them that excuse. Because the red ball and spot and all that shit basically just points out you're caught up in merely an equation where there's, a bunch of rats in a maze, and there's nothing really honorable to do here but try to mitigate against the damage being done. And he doesn't want to play janitor. He doesn't want the role of cleaner. He wants to be a mess maker. Plainly. Obviously. Yeah. It's already a proven fact. Whatever. So we just have an argument about the how to argue. We'll have an argument about the nature of reality, which isn't probably a bad argument to have. I mean, I'm arguing that the nature of reality is that as you get deeper, it gets simpler. Yeah. That the basic forces are simpler, not more complicated. They don't get more godlike. The simpler you go, the more you break it down. It gets more and more simple, and that we can understand our structure and the simple origins of consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, addiction, and the higher mammals as the added-on features. We can see the mechanism, the fact that it's just a gladiator war. You want to pretend that all this peacock colors and all this tail wagging means something. Well, it doesn't. Not in any intrinsic way. It's only in a way where you're interpreting it, because you're applying your context. The context of your fantasy island, where all this bullshit matters, your stoicism and your honor codes and your all this other crap of your glorifying your emotions. All that crap exists to make you capable, of like two rams running into each other with your horns. All this crap exists inside of you because it enabled your ancestors to fight the fight, and that's all it is. And now you've written a new script. You've taken those feelings, those emotions, written no new roles for them, and it's a fantasy play. So you've taken yourself out of the crude reality, as you must logically, because it's crude and stupid and brutal, and attempted to rewrite the story. And essential to the rewrite is the premise lie that no, this isn't just a fake story, this isn't just a lie. But of course it is just a lie. So until Fred puts something on the table, like where the complexity is, where the complex facts that we have to juggle are, where are the complex facts to be juggled? Maybe I should juggle the camera. Maybe I'll do it on the trip home. Just because I'll probably lose the clip when I drop it. But anyway, where is it? Where are your Mysterio, your ball 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? What are they, Fred? Why don't you give them some names and labels and point them out to us, where you're saying the hidden mystery, magical purpose, magical function is beyond just the fact that human beings are chasing gratification, and they get gratification in 9 million different ways, and every one of those ways is premised on some sort of lie. Everybody's having sex with their eyes closed, so to speak, and it's just bullshit. You're living with your eyes closed. You're just making it up, saying it isn't just a path through the woods. No, I'm off to the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. So you're the child, desperate for a more complex story and a happily ever after. Yeah, no, tragically ever stupid is what humans like you are sentencing us to. Perpetual bullshit. Thanks, buddy. Anyway, it's all maybe an add-on. Go for a little run, cold and such. Until next time. Okay, sensibly decided not to go for a swim. Anyway, so I'll juggle 3 things. So Fred says this is only good enough for a child's birthday party or something like that. So I haven't tried juggling in I don't know how long, but here goes. Concentrate. Focus. Remember what you know. Alright, I lost the rock. Alright, so that's good enough, right? The camera's still on. So I didn't drop the camera. Cool. So way ahead. Anyway, I can juggle 3 things fairly well. Anyway, a little bit of practice. Anyway, so Fred doesn't put up, he just talks the talk. And so, you're supposed to say like what? He's saying the universe at its core probably has something like a god running it, right? Because why else would it create sentient life forms? Or else his argument is, okay, I'll concede evolution, I'll concede gladiator war, I'll concede it's all brutal and horrible, but the end product is this highly nuanced, conscious entity, and that's worth something. That's doing something really complicated. So he's arguing that you're not Freudian psychology. You're not just a bunch of ego mechanisms, essentially. You don't flaunt your tail, as a construct of a psychological mandate built into you, built on hierarchy and earning your way and gaining your little pride points, so you can do your little humpity bumpity. No, there's a bigger thing going on. It's much bigger than that. I see humans and Jedis. Yeah, Jedis with lightsabers and defeating the dark force. Yeah, there's dark forces and light forces. And the good and the bad and the ugly. And the Fred. And, no. So, what are you going to do with this, right? Where it's either a god in our psychology, a god in the crude origins of the universe, because it's trying to make consciousness, it's trying to do something elaborate and funky. But where do you go? Or else, like I said, where are you going to find the angel? And again, some of the guy, he read one of Fred's comments, and Fred put it in there. I mean, Fred thinks, evolution creates angels with as much probability as monsters. Yeah. That's a funny one. You talk about deluded childlike thinking. Pretty yellow bussy there. But anyway. So yeah, there's nowhere to go with this, right? It's just going to be a little insult war until he puts up something. I'm been making some videos as I start doing my fundamentalism. and start recognizing and looking at the core functions and seeing fractals and seeing, a great deal of, what's the word? Not dissection, but what's the other word they use for when you take things apart? Yes, in these conversations a lot. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, the mechanisms are simple in their purpose, in their range of utility, or in their cause. And the fact that they get funky, the fact that the colors get blended and mixed and the clouds look like Abraham Lincoln, it really doesn't mean much. It's just adding funky to the dance, and then saying the dance is somehow better because you funked it. Funky doesn't mean better. Fancy doesn't make it better. Complicated for the sake of complication is nonsense. It's not even childlike. It's illogical. Yeah, you don't glorify things because they're complicated. You don't mystify them. You just acknowledge. No big deal. Oh, anyway. There you go. Pack of girls. It's a pack of them. Yeah. Anyway, if I was only 50 years younger. Yeah. I was kind of a miserable 3-year-old actually, so that wouldn't do me much good. Anyway, seeing pictures. Yeah, I don't really remember 3 that much, but I remember my favorite toy was a baseball bat, so that tells you something. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, complexity. So again, and just this whole maligning of this idea that we shouldn't be confident about anything. The world's not round, water's not wet. The universe isn't full of radioactive horror. The moon isn't dusty. Let's just pretend we don't know anything. Pretend we haven't ripped the genome to pieces, and don't know where we came from and what we really are. And let's just pretend we don't know any of that stuff. And it's just bullshit. There's lots to be confident about. And there's a big difference between people who claim faith as an excuse for belief and people who claim evidence as a source of belief. And Fred doesn't want to make those distinctions, which is again highly offensive. There's nothing as obnoxious as the confidence of the faithful. I mean, that's just such nonsense. That's the faith of the racist, the faith of the faithful. They're just saying, my God's better than their God because he's my God. They got nothing. They got no way to distinguish, their Jeebus from that guy's Mohammed at all. And yet they claim confidence, which is grotesque. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you. If you're going to claim my confidence is unwarranted, provide me a reasonable, a rational alternative theory to my own. If you're going to claim something I'm saying is wrong, that doesn't deserve confidence, then provide evidence, provide a fact indicating something else might be true. And you're not doing that. He's just vaguely referencing the 9 million books of absolute crap that have been written, explaining the, big white elephant verse, stringle theory, bingle bangle bongle theory. I mean, come on. We all can have, we can all pull crap out of our ass. Because I could write a bunch of crap in a book doesn't mean anybody should take it as the truth unless I've based it on evidence. Where's the evidence, Fred? They still haven't done the necessary variety of experiments to validate or verify the results of the two-slit experiment. You know, they haven't done anything yet to validate any of the woo-woo you're tying your ship to. And that's all it is. So just another religion. The new modern 2013 version of bullshit. You know, I don't like the truth. Let's make up a story that has hookers in it. That's all it is. So, go to a birthday party, Fred, and blow a little Tudor horn and think yourself a fair-minded, reasonable intellectual. And I'll keep my alternative opinion. I wonder if the body's buried in here. The soda can. What is this? What are these people doing? I don't know what the fuck this thing was. I saw that before. It sounded like a 1942 iPhone. Hey, what the hell is going on here? Very strange. Yeah, that's all. It's very strange. The disturbance seems to keep going further and deeper into the woods. It's a mystery story. Oh boy, maybe God will be at the end of it. I don't see any footprints, which is weird. Oh, this seems to be a waste of time. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. That's all I can say. It's not in the direction I'm going, so I'm not gonna waste my time hunting. No, see, I'm just not that curious. I'm pretty damn sure there's no pot of gold, so hell with it. So anyway, enough said. Enough of the video. So yeah, fuck you, Fred. You know, why just make it easy? Why just go, fuck you, Gary, instead of playing this little game where you're going to try to insult my intelligence. The qualifications of my, let's see, what can we call it? Yeah. It's hard to, you know, this whole idea that we must qualify ourselves by citing the information and the time we've spent contemplating this or that. But whatever, just impugn the character of my contemplations with your cheap and baseless rhetoric, and I will continue to show you to be the pompous ass that you are. Yeah, and there we go. Take that peacock feather and shove it, buddy.